Bob here. Someone asked me how I put this vlog together, so I thought I'd talk a little bit about the equipment I use, some of the free software that's available, and some of the resources that I think help organize and inspire. Now, if you stick around, there's a surprise ending today. So if this topic and that surprise ending interests you, hang in there. Well, this is my studio. I have a computer with a built-in camera, a webcam, a microphone, and a ring light. Now, that's all I needed to start. Should I upgrade? Well, definitely, when I can afford it. In fact, all you really need to start is a smartphone. But that may set a cap on your creativity. So my suggestion is that you think about what it is you want to produce, what you need to produce that, and then go for it. Start experimenting. That's exactly what I did. And, for every 2 or 3 minutes of video that I've actually laid down, at this point, I can tell you there's a good half hour has gone into that decision to go that direction. So give it a thought and get ready and get started. This is my 2010 MacBook Pro running just barely macOS 10.13 High Sierra. It has a hard time running all the software I use, and I have frequent crashes. Of course, what can you expect with only 4 megabytes of RAM? Now, for the record, I also use the built-in camera. Now, I really can't fault MacBook Pro, but a new one would be hugely expensive. I was a Windows user for many years, and quite comfortably so. I'm going to go back there and get back into Windows and Windows equipment. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later, but let's take a look at the webcam I'm using. My webcam is a Logitech C615. I bought it new a few years ago when it had pretty much reached the end of its life in the Logitech lineup, and I paid about $40 Canadian. You can do a lot better for a little more money today, but this is what I have. I record audio with a Samson C01U Pro mic. Next to the computer, it's the most expensive thing I use. It was a bargain because I got it secondhand. About a year ago, I paid under $90 US, and it was selling new at that time for a lot more. You should be able to get one for about $80 to $100 today, and if you poke around on Amazon, you can find it with a stand, pop filters, and other extras. Now, the ring light is my least expensive piece of equipment. It cost about $12 new, and it isn't great, but it's better than counting solely on natural sunlight. Where did this get me? Well, I think the results speak for themselves. The lighting is inconsistent, and I think that's because I'm using a ring light to do the whole package. And when you're using 2 cameras, that means that the lighting isn't always going to be even. I think the sound quality is not bad, and that's partly because of the good mic that I have, and also from some software enhancements that I was able to use. Speaking of software, I use 3 programs to really put all this together. The first is OBS Studio, and that's a video recording and live streaming software. Then I use OpenShot Editor to put together the final cut. And I use GIMP to do image creation. Now, I'm a novice user of all 3, but it's easy enough to get off the ground. Of course, sometimes it can be very frustrating. OBS, Open Broadcast Software, is completely free. It's a software for recording and live streaming, but I'm too chicken to live stream right now. Now, there's a lot of tutorials online, and I'm going to refer you to a good one later on. Once you learn the very basics of how to organize your audio and video, you can start practicing. OBS pairs with a lot of extensions and plugins to enhance audio and video, so you can make it as complicated as you want, and then your head will explode. To me, OpenShot is pretty sophisticated video editing software. It's free, and there are lots of tutorials, but they seem to assume that you know a lot about video editing. OpenShot's purpose is to take the raw footage that you create and let you mold it into a viewable production. I think I learn something new every time I sit down with OpenShot. It lets me fumble my way around, and it's been somewhat forgiving. Still, I produced the results I was after, probably by doing things the hard way. GIMP is another completely free, very sophisticated program for editing photos and creating graphics. And of course, there are a lot of online tutorials. My impression is that GIMP expects you to have a fair bit of knowledge and experience in graphic creation. It frustrated me most of the time, but I tried to keep my objectives really simple, and I did okay. Now, there's a lot more to learn if you drill down into what I did. Both OBS and OpenShot offer a lot of tools to help move your work to the next level. There's extensions and plugins and so on, and they can really help enhance the product. Some developers, in fact, have worked on OBS to create spin-off programs that are really quite good. They're reasonably priced, and at some point I may actually try one. I think right now, though, I'm going to stick with the basic program and learn it really well. I like to know how things tick. Now, there are other software options that I didn't discuss, and this was either because they cost a lot of money or because they're free, but I couldn't get anywhere with them. And that is definitely not their fault. Audacity is audio recording and editing software that it's capable of just about anything in that area. The challenge, as with OBS and OpenShot, is that it's designed with the pro in mind. The learning curve is steep if you want to master it. Just expect a screen like this after you finish pushing and pulling at all the controls. Another resource that helped and inspired me was the work and support of other vloggers through their YouTube channels. There are a great many, but for me, a few stand out. Think Media put together a whole range of how to produce, market, and profit from YouTube. Some of their stuff is free. Take a look at it. Sean Cannell is the man behind it all at Think Media, and the most important thing he said, and that really got to me, was start before you're ready. Adam Taylor is better known to social media as Epos Vox, the stream professor. He has a number of channels, but the one of incredible value to me is his OBS tutorial set. His masterclass is available on YouTube, and a link is included in the information screen for this episode of Unlocking Bob. Nutty is another vlogger, and his focus is reviewing product that helps with video production and streaming. He loves free stuff, and a lot of what he presents is really helpful. To improve the quality of sound I was getting, I checked out a video called How to Improve Your Mic Audio in OBS Studio. It's produced by Atomic Overdrive, and you can look in the notes to this video to see the YouTube link. Now, I included references to everything that I think that needs one on the descriptive page that comes with this video. So if I forgot something, let me know. In the meantime, remember, don't be scared, and start before you're ready. Thanks for hanging in there, and be sure to watch for my next episode, details to follow. Oh yeah, the surprise ending. Well, it turns out during the production of this video, I had the opportunity to buy a used laptop, and it was a great deal. So I have a Lenovo ThinkPad T460p running Windows 10 with an Intel Core i7 processor, 16 megabytes of RAM, a 250 gigabyte SSD, a 1 terabyte external hard drive, and a GeForce 940 MX video card. Now this is better than the Mac with all the crashes, and with the extra power, I'm able to try new software like DaVinci Resolve 17. DaVinci Resolve is a highly touted video editing software. Again, it's completely free. Now, the jury is still out for me on this because I'm just learning it and trying to figure out whether to stick with OpenShot or switch to DaVinci. And of course, I added a screenshot to give you an idea of how it looks in action. So given all the changes, I'm surprised this episode ever got finished. New tech, new software, and all right in the middle of production. Well, that's showbiz. Thanks again. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.